Shotguns have been through a plethora of changes recently. Last year, everyone was buffed to have more of a place in Siege, making them more accurate, stronger, and destructive. But did it actually? People have noticed some shotguns like the SPAS 12 and the Sausage are still unusable in most situations. I'm going to show which ones are actually good, along with showing the best setups to use on them. The Sausage is beyond the weakest gun in the game, pretty close to the weakest gun in the game, sitting at only 26 damage. With the average gunfight being 8 to 10 meters, we'll test 10 for all of these guns. I currently have red dot B, suppressor, vertical grip, and laser on this gun. If you're able to control the recoil, I would definitely run the angled grip. With this being an automatic, spraying is probably going to be your go-to, so you'll be reloading a lot. Testing the damage, it'll put down anyone in 3 to 6 shots, but considering the recoil and the overall damage, I cannot recommend using this. We'll put it in F tier. Next is the SPAS 12. This is a little better than the Sausage damage-wise, sitting at 31. It's still not great, and the one thing that drags this down for me is the spread. Even ADS, there's always 2 pellets that kind of veer off from the rest of them. I have red dot B and laser on this gun, so let's test out the damage. This shotgun actually isn't bad. 1 to 3 shots for anyone from 10 meters is actually pretty good. The only ops that have this are Valkyrie and Oryx, so with their other primaries being really good, it's kind of hard to use this. We'll put it in C tier. The M590 is widely considered the best shotgun in the game, but we'll still go over the damage and the setup. I only use red dot B on it. I don't really see a reason to use the laser, as ADS speed is pretty quick without it. Testing out the damage, this one shots from 10 meters sometimes, and other times it might take 3 shots. Definitely the most inconsistent we've looked at so far, but I'm still gonna put it in S tier because it's just a classic. The M10 mostly being used on pulse is so 50-50. You need to play a very specific way for this thing to work half the time. Like the M590, I'm only using red dot B. Testing out the damage, you can see it consistently 2 shots with the occasional 3 shot. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in B tier. The damage is what limits it for me, unfortunately. The French shotgun is 100% the most consistent shotgun in the game. I have red dot B and horizontal grip equipped. It's like the M590, sometimes one-shotting, but where it separates itself is the consistency. I've yet to not at least 2-shot the dummy. We'll go ahead and put it in S tier. I feel like the M870 should be bad, and honestly it kind of is, but we'll get into that. This thing is 2-shot every time I've used it on the dummy from close range. But now for the bad part. The damage drop off on this thing is huge. From 11 meters, it 3 shots. From 12 plus, it turns into 4 to 6 shots. If you're using this, make sure you're playing very close and aggressive. We'll put it in B tier. The Super 90 is a weird one, getting nerfed forever ago. People kind of let it go because it wasn't performing the same. I will say it's not as good as I'd hope, but it's definitely still usable. On paper, it's terrible. A pump shotgun that only does 27 damage. Like most of the guns on this list, it's still 2 shots from 10 meters. Taking a look at the drop off, at 12, it turns into 3 shots. And 15 plus, it's 5 to 6. Limited customization is what ruins this gun for me though. I feel like I'm trapped with how it is, and how it is not very good. We'll put it in C tier. This shotgun just feels bad, but at least in the shooting range, it's actually pretty good. But considering how bad Cav's SMG is, this makes for a great second option. It's 2 shots from 10 meters like the rest of them, with the drop off not being too bad, about 3 to 5 shots from 15. I like this gun in B tier. The Supernova is 100% my favorite gun in the game. I use suppressor and red dot B, no laser. Supernova will 1 shot from 10 meters 75% of the time, making it the strongest from this range at least. And this is the best drop off we've seen so far. Landing shots correctly, it's still 2 shots from 15 meters. And of course, we're gonna put this gun in S tier. Real quick, if you're enjoying the video, make sure you're subscribed. A whole lot of you haven't hit the button yet. If you want to help me out and enjoy some Siege content at the same time, it'd be greatly appreciated. Moving on to the ITA, I'm actually a big fan of this on Solus. As good as the P90 is, you have the SMG11 to back it up, and the ITA comes in clutch sometimes. I'm using red dot B and laser for this one. From close range, it's actually pretty good. 2-shotting most of the time, but then you get to 15 meters. At this range, it actually feels useless, but that's where the SMG11 comes in. We'll put it in C tier. The 612 SD is really interesting. It used to be the absolute worst, then the shotgun buff happened, and now it's actually really good. Yet I don't see anyone using it. And honestly, that's for understandable reasons. This recoil is crazy and insanely unpredictable. If you can manage to control it, you'll be unstoppable. This is also the one shotgun I've tested where it's actually consistent when hip firing. After the attachment changes, that's honestly really hard to find. So if you use this and you're not too confident in controlling the recoil, just know the hip firing accuracy is pretty good. This can go in B tier. This might be my least favorite shotgun in the game. I understand it's a close range spray and pray type gun, but there is no reason it should 3 to 5 shot from 10 meters. I'm using the extended barrel and vertical grip. This gun could get a damage buff as is. The recoil on it is pretty extensive already, even without the extended barrel on, and I think that would balance out the damage. But yeah, I don't recommend using this for more than 7 meters. It's absolutely horrible. D tier. This is the unsuppressed version of Legion's gun, and only being on an attacker Ying, it's not really a viable option from the jump. It 2 shots from 10 meters consistently, which really isn't bad at all, but using a shotgun on attacker is already not viable enough. Then tacking this insane recoil on it just kind of makes you ask why. Damage and drop off wise, it actually performs really well. So I'll put it in B tier, but I do not recommend using this over the LMG. That is every primary shotgun in the game. Should Ubisoft buff some of these? And if so, which ones? Let me know down below, and of course, subscribe for daily Siege content.